back with his new podcast series. Chris Hagen is not dead yet.
Hello everyone and welcome to my New Year's Eve special. Now maybe you're listening to this on New Year's Eve, probably not, because you're probably at a party getting rat-arsed. I was trying to think of a nice way of saying drunk that's not drunk, because I only know quite vulgar ones being from Manchester and living around people who drink a lot. But yeah, so if you're at a party, well done, enjoy yourself, have a great time, and don't be listening to my podcast at a party. What the hell are you doing? And if you're listening along with snacks, then okay, you're more sophisticated and an introvert and prefer your own company, and why not? So really I should start probably with an update on my life, because apparently this is who I am right now. I'm an island boy. Who'd have thunk it? Who'd have thunk it? Me on an island. Do you know, all my life I thought, I hate the heat. I didn't think, I told everybody, I hate the heat. I hate beaches. What the hell do I want to go to an island for? But, yeah, they're not that bad. Now, like I said, I'm an island boy now, but not in a glamorous way. No ukulele, I'm not sitting there in flip-flops. I don't do flip-flops. I hate feet. Maybe I've told you this a million times, but feet shouldn't exist. I know we need them to stay upright, but really they're just horrible things. And also, I don't go fly drones around like videoing myself. Not unless we're doing a music video. It's just me, sunburn, lots of beer, and a vague sense that I don't know what day it is anymore, basically. And last week I went to some tiny islands just off the coast of Borneo. Now for my Italian friends, not Borneo, Borneo. Okay, and it's near Kota Kinabalu. Now the person who took us around, Olivia, hi Olivia, she said, here we call it KK. I couldn't remember that, and obviously I said 3Ks all the time, which obviously is not correct. But what I discovered was this place is quite interesting. It's nice, it's not far from the islands, got shopping centres with the proper shops, and very nice sunsets. We had a very, very big, thick rainbow the first night as well. That was really weird. Well, weird but nice. But definitely, and I'm convinced about this, the most expensive taxis in the world. I spent hundreds of euro in 2-3 days. How? I don't understand how. But anyway, these islands were Manukan and Sapi Island, were very, very small. There is another island, well, not where they are, they're still there. I hope nothing has destroyed them in the last couple of days. But also there was an island nearby, and I said to Olivia, can I go there? She went, no, it's for research only. So I mean research only. Well, what? Can't people visit? No, because there's all the poisonous animals and dangerous animals. So I don't think I'll be buying a house on that island. So anyway, I was there on one of these little islands, not the dangerous one, literally in the middle of the South China Sea. Well, not in the middle, but you get what I mean. In the South China Sea. I've not even had a drink yet. My God. South China Sea. Say that when you're drunk. On basically what's a floating piece of sand, buying a beer from a shack held together by hope and nails, because it looked like it was going to fall over at any point. And then some guy came over in Italian and said, in Italian, he started speaking to me saying, can you ask for a pint for me as well? I'm like, but why are you speaking to me in Italian? Hey, I know who you are. My God, I got recognized in the middle of the South China Sea by an Italian who lives in Singapore. So, hello. And which this can mean a few things. My career has reached its final form. Not London, not New York. A beach shack, getting beer in the middle of the South China Sea. Gee, I'm never going to be able to say that. Never going to be able to say it. So I don't know, is that a good thing or not? I think it's a good thing. Funny anyway. So yeah. And anyway, this is a message for Eliza. I'm still waiting. Still waiting for you to come and visit, by the way. Still waiting. And apparently it's easier for random Italians to find me on remote islands than it is for her to book a flight. So, Eliza, my dear, the invitation remains open and the pressure is gentle but slightly increasing. Now let's talk about wildlife, because islands always come with something prehistoric that reminds you you're not in charge. Now, prehistoric not meaning me, I know I'm old, but I'm not that old. I saw this gigantic lizard thing. Now, I have seen them before in Indonesia. Already terrifying. Came out of a lake and was almost licking my leg. It was a very, very strange experience. But this one was basically half the size of the island. It was enormous. Absolutely enormous. And other people have been told, don't try to touch it because it will hit you with its tail. And what did these people do? They tried to touch it. And what did the lizard do? He hit them with his tail. So yeah, and it wasn't visiting the island, it was the island. It was so big. So only problem with the island, well, the public toilet had no toilet paper. What's this thing about no toilet paper? Give an option, please. So let's talk about Christmas. Christmas was lovely. It was lovely. A beach Christmas and a house Christmas, countryside Christmas, or every kind of Christmas. Sun, sea, no coats, no stress. A lot of sweating because it was hot. And I gave my Muslim kids their first ever Christmas, which was honestly very, very cute. Santa hats, presents, beach background, and the photos are dangerously adorable. So cute. And I like that. I like mixing festivals. For example, this year Hanukkah and Christmas were nearby. So obviously we celebrated Christmaka. And why not? What harm does it do? More food, more joy, more excuses to sit together. And also a small reminder, Jesus wasn't even born on Christmas Day anyway, so everyone can relax. And I don't understand why we can't just celebrate everybody's festival. Why can't everybody be included? I mean, we probably can. But why people say, oh, they're celebrating this and we shouldn't? Balls to that. Do what you want. It's your life, you have one. Celebrate what you want. Celebrate everything you want with your friends. And as well, have friends from different cultures, different religions. It's better and a lot more interesting than being boring. So let's just all celebrate everything and be kind to each other. And remember, respect. Now, 2025. Let's talk about 2025. I think we can all agree 2025 was the year of narcissism. I don't know what it is in the Chinese year, some animal, but I think I need to create a new chart with 2025 narcissists. And also people sending direct messages saying, want to penetrate me for money? Basically, sex workers. 2025, everybody became an OnlyFans model or a sex worker or flicking their nipples and then tossing burgers in McDonald's. Very, very weird. So yeah, endless gym videos. Why do I need to see other people sweating? Even if you're my friends, I don't need to see you at the gym with sweat dripping off you as you're squatting. I don't get it. Also, phones balanced on like in lifts, in mirrors, and you're there like with in your vest and stripping off and things like. I don't get it. I just don't get it. Did I say I don't get it? Why do we need to see everybody else sweating? Why is everybody a narcissist in 2025? Everyone's starting to just keep staring at themselves. They're always staring at themselves in the mirror and expecting everybody else to also want to look at them at every moment of the day. It's not true. Really, I prefer to just meet a person, have a nice quiet drink after you've had a shower. Why do I need to see you sweating like a nun in a brothel? I don't get it. Really don't get it. So let's all agree, 2025, everybody saw everybody. And remember, as the title of one of my episodes says, once online, always online. So let's hope 2026 is calmer. Because 2026 already has some good things planned. Less noise, let's hope. More creativity. More real connection, let's hope. And more travel that doesn't involve filming yourself in the gym at every gym around the world. More books, more conversations, more actual living. And speaking of books, today I released a new book called Cocks and Pussies of Indonesia. Yes, you heard correctly. Yes, that is the title. Yes. And no, get your minds out of the gutter. It is not what you think. But it's a great way to trick your friends on their birthdays, christening. No, maybe not christenings because babies. Well, actually, what's inside babies can see. Just the title's a bit risque, let's call it. But it's observational. So get your minds out of the gutter and buy it for your friends who are all perverts who will think that it's Cocks and Pussies of Indonesia inside. And not Cocks and Pussies of Indonesia inside. Really, the words are the same. So buy it and you'll find out what it is. So I'm fully aware that the title might cause confusion, even some police reports maybe, or awkward conversations in bookshops. But do you know what? That's why I love life. because it's different, not boring. And anyway, I'm looking for some suggestions for the next title in the series. So send me a message in whatever way you want, even by pigeon if you want. Maybe try and think of a title for the series that gives people less heart attacks. Can you imagine standing in WH Smith asking, "Hello, can I have Cocks and Pussies of Indonesia, please?" by Chris Hagen? Well, and this is the New Year's Eve special, yeah? So let's talk about some strange traditions, because I've actually had some strange experiences in my life at New Year's Eve as well. Surprise, surprise. So let's have a look at a couple around the world first, and I'll tell you about a few I experienced. So in Spain, I used to live in Spain at one point, they eat 12 grapes at midnight, 1 grape per month. So if you miss one, your year's ruined. I'm trying to think of a nice way. Your year is ruined if you only eat 11. And if you eat 13, what happens? Really, that's a lot of pressure for fruit. And in Denmark, people throw plates at their friends' doors, which apparently means love. In Britain, that's how you end friendships. So maybe we can try that this New Year. Go around throwing plates at people's doors. And in Japan, temple bells ring 108 times to cleanse sins. I love that they counted them. 108. Why 108? Why not 109 or 110 or 100? Round it off. Why 108? I didn't actually investigate that. I should have done. But I'm sure you can do that. There's a thing called Google. And speaking of Japan, one New Year's Eve I was in Japan and in Tokyo, and I'd read online that there was this amazing tradition, beautiful tradition of at midnight everybody sending white balloons up into the sky. So I'm there with my friends, waiting for midnight, seeing all these people, thinking, the balloons are about to go up. Midnight midnight arrived, and nothing. One measly little white balloon floated up into the sky. Like, what? I expected a few more. Just one. Maybe that was another tourist who'd read it online and thought, I'll bring my balloon as well and be part of the... Part of what? But you should have put your name on it, and then we could have all found out who you were. And as well, I went to a fire burning thing. It's a bonfire in front of a temple where they burn the wishes that people have written on paper, which is quite cute, symbolic, very, very nice. And I took some photos, and obviously around the fire there's many people. And when I returned back to Italy, I checked the photos, and in the photos at the opposite side of the fire was actually a student of mine. And in his photos, I was there, because we've been taking photos of the same fire. He was at one side, I was at the other. So yeah, so a beautiful moment that we could have actually met each other in Tokyo, but we didn't. It's a lot nicer than the time I saw my brother peeing in my aunt's front garden while people were Irish dancing to Gangster's Paradise, that's for sure. Now let's talk about food. Now I'm pescatarian, which means I only eat fish. But to be honest, I only eat salmon, tuna, sea bass and white fish, as long as there's no head and tail and no bones. Which brings me to Patrick and Nicholas. Now, I know we're talking about Christmas and New Year. I don't mean Santa Claus sent Nicholas. I mean Patrick and Nicholas, the two guys who have a little restaurant and also grocers near me. And they are my salmon smugglers. You'd think living on islands, fish would be easy to get hold of. Nope. Salmon here requires planning, timing and trust. If this was a crime film, salmon would be like diamonds. It would be the diamonds in the film. Nicholas also plays the best music in his grocery shop / cafe. Really, really good music. This morning I was listening to it thinking, God, who chose this music? Thinking, obviously, these boys' father, because same age as me probably. But no, it was Nicholas. So I go in there for my fish, I stay for the playlist, and just needs one thing. Alcohol. Add alcohol, and I'm moving in. Only joking, don't panic. And so in the last 2 weeks, I've bought 2 food mixers as well. Stand mixers, whatever you want to call them. Then things that mix food you see Nigella Lawson and Mary Berry using. But I'll tell you, I think I've made more cakes and things in the past 2 weeks than Nigella and Mary have ever made in their life. Really, I think I'm running out of electricity. I think I'm burning all the electricity in this country while I'm using these. Even the other night until 4 a.m. I was making cinnamon bread. Why? But why not? And so if this island loses power, what? I don't know what I'm going to have to do. I mean, it is hot enough. I could just cook outside, really. Now, one last thing before we enter 2026, and this is a very, very important thing. Basil. Why can't I get Italian basil? Proper basil. The one that's like a spoon, upside down spoon, and shiny. Here in Indonesia, basil tastes like soap. I don't want my pasta clean, I want it delicious. And I've looked everywhere. I've even bought seeds online, and again, the soapy one grows, not the nice tasty one. So if anyone listening knows where I can get real Italian basil in Asia, please send me a message somehow, or send me the basil, or the seeds. And finally, a message to my students. Book your lessons ASAP, because my calendar is filling up and I don't want you losing your slot because you were too drunk over this period to remember to book it. I care, but I will replace you. Joking, don't worry. But just make sure you've booked your lessons and done your homework. Now I need to start organising my New Year's Eve party. And here's a bit of advice for everybody around the world. I'm not targeting anybody specifically, only these people. When people invite you to their home for a party or for something, it is common courtesy and etiquette to take something, a bottle of something, some food, a salad, a cake, a bottle of wine, a bottle of beer, a bottle of Pepsi, Coca-Cola if there's no Pepsi, or Pepsi if there's no Coca-Cola. I love that film, The Invention of Lying, with Ricky Gervais. Fantastic. So this is just a bit of polite advice to educate you with etiquette. Don't just go to somebody's house and drink all their alcohol and then go, bye-bye, see you next time. Remember, your friends are your friends. They're not a bar, an open bar, a free bar. So when you go, remember it's courtesy to take things. Thankfully, most of my friends do that. But there are many people out there who still haven't understood this common courtesy with etiquette of socializing. So a little bit of advice, even take a little plant, or something nice and cute. So New Year's Eve party, when you go to your friends, you're invited to your friends, take a bottle, bring a bottle, take a bottle. We say bring a bottle normally on the invite. So take a bottle, take a salad, take a quiche. I want quiche. So now I'm going to get planning. I've got many things to bake and make. So from tiny islands and giant lizards, Christmaker and silent midnights, salmon smugglers, stand mixers and soapy basil, goodbye 2025. The year of mirrors, narcissists, sex workers, lazy sex workers like poor ones, not real ones, and phone cameras. Phone cameras everywhere. Everyone's taking photos of everything, including me, to be honest. So really, bit of a hypocrite there. So hello 2026, please be kinder to everyone, calmer, and also respect everybody. This is the most important thing that is missing these days. And remember, be just weird enough to be interesting. Happy New Year.